Hey everyone, and welcome to my Dragon Ball Super Episode 73 review. Like my last review, I will talk about what I liked, what I did not like, the story and pacing, the visuals and audio, character utilization, and my overall rating. Now on to the review. So what I really liked about this episode is that Gohan finally had the spotlight again. I'm one of those people who likes the Gohan in high school portion of the Majin Buu arc, so this episode was right up my alley. I also like this episode shows continuity, like seeing the movie star that Buu shape-shifted his face into. I also really enjoyed the scene where Videl rejects that guy and he gets humiliated in front of his staff. That scene where the bank robber becomes possessed was a pleasant surprise. I did not think this episode was going to sneak in any action. Also, that GT vibe that Wadagash gave was awesome. So what I really did not like about this episode was the movie star as a character. He reminded me of a fusion of Sharpener and that Rose guy in the Cell Games filler episodes. Also, the cliffhanger had literally no suspense. We know that Beam is going to do nothing to Gohan, so why bother? So the story and pacing, a lot of people did not like this episode for being dialogue heavy, but I felt it to be enjoyable, especially the interpersonal conflicts that smug movie star had with everyone. I personally enjoy slice of life animes such as Host Club and Fruits Basket, so that could be a reason why I'm enjoying these episodes so much. Also, I'm still winding down from the craziness that was the future Trunks arc, believe it or not. I did not feel that there were any lingering scenes, so I thought the pacing for this episode was decent. So for the visuals and audio, there were a few nice scenes, such as the ramen house Jocko was in, was a pretty cool scene, and the view of the city when Gohan was flying around with that girl who has a crush on him. So for the character utilization, seeing Jocko again was so great after it being quite a while since we had last seen him. When was the last time we seen him? The Copy Vegeta arc? And like I said before, seeing Gohan get the spotlight in this episode was a real treat, since the Son family are all my favorite characters. So for my overall rating, I will give this episode a 4.12 out of 5. I like this episode more than 71, but not quite as much as 72. I initially gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but after rewatching it again and getting the Gohan and Jocko hype out of my system, I gave it a bit lower and a more fair rating. Now on to my first impressions of the Dragon Ball Super Episode 1 of the English dub. So before this episode actually aired, I was actually hyped. Even though I think the first couple of episodes are just okay at best, like story-wise and the episode themselves, I was so excited to hear the English dub. Everyone sounded great. The only time I really thought anyone sounded off was when Goten was talking to Goku near the cliff when the tractor fell down. Other than that, nothing really stood out as being off or anything like that. Who did stand out most to me were Chris Rager and Jason Douglas. I still think out of all the characters in Dragon Ball Super, their voices fit their characters the best, and they're both very talented. But don't expect my thoughts on each individual episode each week. This is just more of a one-time thing, because we haven't seen Dragon Ball on TV in a very, very long time. Not counting Kai. I'm more talking about just actual new Dragon Ball, like stuff that is airing here for the first time. Like kind of like how in the early 2000s, whenever the Majin Buu arc first aired, I was pretty hyped then. And I'm pretty hyped now. But once the God of Destruction Beerus arc is done, I will do a comparison between the English version to the Japanese version. So look forward to that someday. But those are my thoughts on episode 73 of Dragon Ball Super, as well as my brief thoughts on episode 1 of the English dub. Tell me what you think in the comments section. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day everyone.